In 1952, Police Captain Richard Morrison made the worst mistake of his life. He slapped the wrong woman outside a Harlem nightclub. She was Bumpy Johnson's little sister. 48 hours later, this decorated officer was found in Times Square, barefoot, crying, begging strangers for spare change. It was a humid Friday night in August 1952, and the Cotton Club was alive with jazz and laughter. Outside the entrance on 125th Street, a line of well-dressed patrons waited beneath the neon lights. Captain Richard Morrison pulled up in his personal car, badge gleaming on his belt, expecting the usual treatment. He walked straight to the front, cutting past everyone. But Helen Johnson, the elegant woman in an emerald dress, didn't move. "The line's back there, officer," she said calmly. Morrison's face flushed red. "Do you know who I am?" Helen smiled slightly. "Should I?" What happened next made the entire crowd gasp. Morrison's hand flew across Helen's face with a crack that echoed down the block. She stumbled but didn't fall. Morrison smirked, adjusted his hat, and walked inside like he owned the place. The doorman helped Helen steady herself. Blood trickled from her lip. She dabbed it with a handkerchief, her eyes cold and focused. "Tell your manager Captain Morrison just made a mistake," she whispered. "My brother will hear about this." 30 minutes later, Bumpy Johnson sat in his office above a barbershop on Lenox Avenue, locked in a chess game with his accountant. The door opened carefully. His associate whispered something in his ear. The chess piece Bumpy held a black queen snapped between his fingers. The room went completely silent. Everyone knew that look. Bumpy had built an empire on calculated moves and ironclad rules. Rule number 1: family is untouchable. He stood slowly, brushed the broken chess piece off his suit, and walked to the window overlooking Harlem's glittering streets. "Get me Tommy and Marcus," he said quietly. His voice was ice. 2 phone calls were made. No yelling. No theatrics. Just cold, precise instructions delivered in measured tones. Bumpy checked his watch. "Captain Morrison has 48 hours, he said to no one in particular. 48 hours to understand what power really looks like. Saturday morning, Morrison woke to find his bank accounts frozen, every single one. "System error," the bank claimed. By noon, his wife discovered a briefcase in their garage, filled with photographs of Morrison with women he'd never met. Locations he'd never visited, but the images looked absolutely real. She threw him out. By evening, the police commissioner's office received a manila envelope containing detailed financial records. Morrison's name on bribes, payoffs, evidence tampering. All fabricated perfectly, but impossible to disprove. Sunday morning brought total collapse. Morrison's captain's badge was reported stolen from precinct records. His car was impounded for unpaid violations that appeared overnight. He returned home to change locks, and a foreclosure notice the bank insisted was legitimate. Every colleague he called suddenly didn't recognize the number. His lawyer stopped returning messages. His union rep claimed no record of his membership. Morrison sat on his front steps, watching his world evaporate like morning fog. This wasn't random chaos, this was orchestration. This was surgical. This was impossible, unless you were Bumpy Johnson. Sunday evening, 2 patrol officers responding to a disturbance call in Times Square found a man sitting against a theater wall, barefoot, suit torn and stained. Hair wild, he was holding out his hands to passing tourists, begging for quarters. "Please, just something for food," he mumbled. "I lost everything. Everything in 2 days." When the officers got closer, they froze. "Captain Morrison?" one whispered. Morrison's head snapped up. His eyes were red, desperate, broken. He grabbed both officers by their uniforms, pulling them close. "You have to tell him," Morrison sobbed. "Tell Bumpy I'm sorry." "Please, God, tell him I'm sorry. Tell him I'll leave New York. Tell him whatever he wants. Just make it stop." The officers carefully pulled him to their car. Morrison was taken for psychiatric evaluation. By Monday, the story spread through every precinct in the city. Captain Richard Morrison's career wasn't just over, it was erased, like he never existed. Bumpy Johnson never laid a finger on Captain Morrison. He didn't have to. In Harlem, from the barbershops to the boardrooms, everyone understood the message perfectly. Respect has consequences. And some people can dismantle your entire life without ever raising their voice. Morrison left New York that week and was never seen in the city again, and Helen Johnson? She never received another disrespectful glance for the rest of her life. Ever.